Hello, listener. My name is Dr. Thais Speaks. I'm your life strategist and the Common Sensei. This is the Common Sensei Show. So that you don't have to remember later on, I would like you to take a moment now to subscribe to this podcast, the Common Sensei Show. So the very next time I post a show, you can be notified. I can be found on iTunes as well as Google Play Music under The Common Sensei Show. It's the very last week of 2016. I don't know about you, but 2016 was good to me. In previous years, I've learned to turn my complaints around to thankfulness. So if there were anything to complain about, it would come out as a list of thankfulness or gratefulness, whatever you want to title it. Overall, 2016 showed me some possibilities that I could have in my life. What I mean is, 2016 allowed me to see that I am in total control of my life and what I want to do with it. I have seen where friends who have decided to make a change for the better have committed themselves to making that change. Now, that change may come with a cost, but whatever they decided to pay to make that change, they did it. I don't want to go deep in this. I think that it is better suited for another podcast. But on the surface, 2016 unveiled a lot of little truths. And I'm going to share them with you. So together, we can apply what is to be revealed in 2017. At the end of every year, I always like to evaluate what I've learned throughout the year. Most years are just validations of what I've already known or discerned. And then there are some years that show me something new, usually in myself or other people. And this year is no different. I believe 2016 was the year for me to learn about myself and the aspects of what works for me and what doesn't work for me. I've come to understand without a shadow of a doubt, I must write things down. I've accepted that I have angels around me who are constantly talking and giving me great ideas. And their words are like the wind that I can only catch if I write them down. Otherwise, their words naturally disappear. Do you want to hear something powerful? There are a lot of people out there who are surrounded by angels who need them to write things down. Like you. You have angels who are constantly giving you ideas and guidance, but it leaves your mind like the wind. Well, because you act like you're not really ready to receive the information that they're trying to give you. Okay, so I told myself that I was not going to get deep with this podcast. So I'm going to move past that one and tell you that 2016 has also told me that I need to stop and smell the roses along my journey. So let me tell you, in 2017, don't stress yourself with those self-imposed deadlines. Yes, make the deadlines. But no stress. Don't stress along the way. If you don't get it done today, get it done tomorrow. And if you don't get it done tomorrow, work hard to get it done as soon as possible so that it doesn't linger and clog your path of other things that you need to get done. 2016 has been telling me to take time out for people. I didn't do much of that because of the many projects that I'm involved in. But in 2017, that is my plan. I actually wrote down, take time to visit friends more often. I'm talking about those friends that you actually allow in your circle who are important. So in 2017, let's not just meet our small circle of friends at a restaurant or a social outing. Let's really invite them into our kitchens, on our couch, with a glass of wine or over a homemade meal. Or in my case, I'll be serving both food and wine. I'm also revving up on my YouTube page. Have you been there yet? It's youtube.com/user/ Dr. Thais Speaks, DrThaisSpeaks. Take a moment and go to my page and hit the subscribe button. And you can also find me on Facebook under Dr. Thais Speaks. Click the like button when you get there. Okay, I'd like to briefly talk about being more clear in conversations with people in 2017. There are so many situations that present itself through others that give us enough room to say something that we really don't mean to say. And I'm not talking about the statements that we say to a family or friend, like talking about anyone. If you're mature enough, and I believe you are, you have already moved past the what's wrong and that kind of talk. I'm talking about the really innocent things we may say, like as a response to someone when we say, that doesn't bother me, or don't worry about it, or I'll work on that. Those little things. We have to be careful when we say those, what I call habitual, let's avoid the real deal words. Most times when people say, oh, don't worry about it, that's not what they really mean. Depending on the situation, they probably mean, don't worry about it now, we could discuss this later. Or, that's not important right now, but this other thing is. Again, not getting deep in this podcast, but I did want to touch on better communication with other people, which involves slowing down and making sure that the person or people involved in the conversation all leave with the same understanding of whatever it is you are talking about. I've just seen too many times over and over again when people speak to one another, most times, one person has an agenda or a thought already in their head about the expected outcome of the conversation. So if you are the person they are talking to, you need to make sure that you cut through any preconceived expectations or answers that the person already has in their head. I'll give you a perfect example using my children. As a parent, you want your children to be dependent in certain areas during certain times of their life. At the age that my children are, I am teaching them financial responsibility according to the things that they want. In this particular situation, my son was buying his sister a birthday gift. I was in the store with him while he was going from store to store deciding on the perfect gift for his sister. I observed that he was looking at different price ranges of things. Some things were $60 for one item and some things were $12. So I asked him, what is your budget? And he said that he didn't have a budget because he just wanted to make his sister happy. Well, as a mom, I had a high and a kind of mid-range mommy moment. On one hand, I was feeling pretty great because I'm successful so far at my children getting along, loving and respecting each other. But on the other hand, what does my son mean he doesn't have a budget? So he finally decides on a gift and tells me that he has to go to the bank to get the money. Then he asks if I can pay for it and he'll pay me back. My response was, sure. I will give you the receipt so you'll know exactly how much to pay me back. Well, later on that day, I gave him the gift card and the receipt and asked for my money. And he actually snickered and said that he was secretly expecting me to say, oh, that's okay. You don't have to pay me back. Now, the conversation went deeper. But you see, what if I wasn't clear with my expectations? Even after he said that he would pay me back, I already know what the scenario would be had when he told me he would pay me back. I didn't say anything or I wasn't real clear about, expect to pay me back. Now, sadly, as his mom, I didn't know that his expectations were for me to say, don't worry about it. But I'll tell you what, that would have been a typical answer for me. I would have seen that he was trying to give something nice to his sister for her birthday, and I would have paid for it. And in the end, it would have hurt us both because I wouldn't have taught him any kind of responsibility, and I would be burdening myself in the long run. But that's just my example to cutting through people's preconceived answer so that you're clear with what you want. I also recorded a podcast on being clear with communicating. It's show number 3, titled Be Clear with Your Order and Don't Stab Your Waitress. That was a pretty good one. You should take a listen. So that's it. In 2017, let's write our ideas down. Stop and smell the roses along our journey. Stop stressing ourselves with our self-imposed deadlines. Take time out for the people in our circle and be clear with our communication. Thank you so very much for listening. This show is my contribution to life. If you know someone who would like to learn about breakthrough strategies on how to live a better life, apply business sense to everyday living, and increase their common sense to make it common again, or you just want to share some insight into becoming a better you in 2017, use 7 seconds right now to help spread the word on your social media sites. Find the share button, email it, just help to spread this message and tell your friends. This show is titled What I Learned in 2016 to Be More Successful in 2017. You know what else? I would really appreciate a positive review from you on iTunes or whatever platform you're listening to the Common Sensei show on. True Life Experience by Thais Wilson and Music Bed Magic by Keith Griffin of Ashy Breeze Music. Enjoy your journey in life. Live, love, and laugh. I'm Dr. Thais Speaks, and you can find me online at drthais.com. That's drthais.com. Thank you for listening and caring enough to share.